ready, you may commence.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Black Showcase for the week and fundraiser for the Okra Project. Before we begin, I have a couple of announcements. First, I want to announce that the Berkeley Slam has officially merged with Rich Oak Events, meaning that we are working together to help organize the show and make this thing run even smoother than it already has been. As a result, Berkeley Slam is now included in Rich Oak's donation stream. So this show is brought to you by support from our generous patrons over at Patreon, and from viewers like you. You can get involved. This show, while really rewarding, is unfortunately run by money because capitalism. And every contribution that you give us allows us to continue providing these artist spaces. It takes a lot of money to run, from software to paying features, to paying our artists. So you can definitely, we encourage you to go to patreon.com/Rich Oak Events to donate. We are currently doing a campaign. So if we can get 30 patrons, all of our events will be free for performers. So if you want to help us make art more accessible to people in the Bay Area, go to patreon.com/Rich Oak Events and donate now. We like to thank a few people in particular. First, Renee Edmonds and Jessica Kozakic for sponsoring our weekly workshops. Thank you so much. And a special thanks to both Alice Grimm and Sarah O'Connell for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Allen Bluford Center. That is us. That's Rich Oak Events. That's how you can support us. Speaking of support, this isn't just a Black showcase. This is a fundraiser for an important organization in our community called the Okra Project. The Okra Project is a collective that seeks to address the global crisis faced by Black trans people by bringing home cooked meals and culturally specific meals and resources to Black trans people wherever they can reach them. Usually people in need are allowed to apply, and others donate $90, which is what covers the cost for the service. Right now, the Okra Project has started the Nina Pop Mental Health Recovery Fund and the Tony Mcdade Mental Health Recovery Fund. Both of these projects are meant to support the mental health of Black trans people by paying one-time mental health therapy sessions with a Black mental health counselor of their choice. It's really important that we support organizations that are supporting the most marginalized people in our communities. And it's really important that we especially do that in Black communities. When we say Black Lives Matter, we mean all Black lives matter. And it's really important that we support the organizations that are working with populations that are oftentimes pushed aside and forgotten, and not even forgotten, intentionally ignored. So we had an initial goal. We had partnered up with Greetings from Queer Mountain. Shout out to them and their amazing show last night. We partnered up with them. Our initial goal was $600 and some change. We ended up busting that goal, and I think right now last time I checked, we were sitting at around $1,500. We are sitting at $1,751 so far. We are trying to reach, our next goal is $2,000. I think that we can do it. And I think is a beautiful lineup of amazing Black poets that also will be encouraging you to do it. It's not enough to just say Black Lives Matter. We have to pay for it like Black Lives Matter. We have to act like it. It's action. We need to make Black Lives Matter. So I encourage every single person who is watching this to make some sort of donation, show your support for the Black trans people that are building this country, these movements, our communities. Don't let us be forgotten. That being said, we have an amazing line up of poets tonight. We have Jasmine Waiters, we got Cece Gervais, we got Chardonnay Thomas, we got Damani Thomas, no relation, we got Alexandria Collins, and we got Asia Bryant Wilkerson, and we got our great, amazing, dope ass Baltimore feature, Meccamorphosis. Yes. So it's going to get popping, but before we begin, I got a couple ground rules. First of all, poets, you got 5 to 6 minutes to share whatever you like. Yeah, that's your rule. Do you, be you, do what you want. This is your platform. Be Black and proud and beautiful, which I know you all will be. But most important rules are for the audience. First, like, share, and subscribe to our Instagram and Twitter at Berkeley Slam and Facebook at the Berkeley Poetry Slam. Comment in the feed too. Let us know how much you love these poems. Be more enthusiastic than you would be in person. I don't know about the rest of these folks, but I definitely do go back, look at the live stream and look at people's comments and see what they got to say about these folks. And y'all say some really beautiful stuff. It really warms my heart. So like, keep that up, keep that love and support up that you have been, and increase it, you know, show me more love and support. You know, it's hard being Black, shit. Be extra loving on us right now. But also, most important thing, it's great that we're doing a fundraiser for a Black organization, but it's also really important to donate and support Black individuals, because Black organizations would not exist if it weren't for the Black people that made them run. So I challenge each and every person to donate to the individuals that will be coming up and spitting their soul and sharing their artwork with you. So I will be plugging their Cash App, Venmo, whatever funding stream they prefer. And when I do that, I expect to see some sort of action, a smile on their face denoting a Cash App cha-ching notification on their phone, something like that. In other words, you know, it's not enough to say, I support Black people. You know, you actually have to support Black people. Like, that's an action. It's not a feeling, it's not solidarity. Reparations now, probably yesterday, to be honest, but you know, since we're here today, you know, better late than never. So donate to Black individuals, and remember, of course, both on this stage in the comment sections, because I'm not afraid to roast anybody anywhere. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from accountability and freedom from the consequences of what the fuck you just said. So if I see anything, if I hear anything, I'll be up in that comment section, roast the fuck out of you, and then block you because I don't need your energy in my life. So let's keep it civil, let's keep it positive. Remember, we say Black Lives Matter here. We say abolish the police. You know, we're not about the fuck shit, not now, not ever. So yeah, we got a great lineup. And on deck in that lineup, we got Cece Gervais, but I want y'all to send maximum love and positive energy to our first poet coming up in the showcase. Give it up for Jasmine Waiters.
You have the floor.
I'm unmuted now.
We can hear you.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Really happy to be here. I've been dealing with some technical difficulties, but I'm happy that we got it worked out. And I want to share 2 poems with you guys from my book, Before We Were Magic. I am vowing that any books that I sell, if you, these are $15. My Cash App is here in my name. Any books that I sell within the next 24 hours, I will give 50% of those proceeds right back to this fundraiser. So by supporting me, you're still supporting the fundraiser, because without them, I would not have this opportunity. So it's only right to give back. I want to start by reading my first poem, Hyperopia. Yeah. When my mama called, said that black boy I call Ken wrote a suicide note. I had to check my prescription, asked myself, do Black lives really matter to me if I see Black death differently when the finger that pulled the trigger belongs to the same Black body that caught the bullet? Have I forgotten about the Black boys who have considered suicide when the rainbow isn't enough? The Black boys who wear the blues like a uniform, cursing at TV screens when the weather segment claims there is 0 chance of rain. The Black boys whose hearts speak to the meteorologist says, nigga, you a damn lie. Every day is a storm in this body. Every tear, precipitation, every dark thought, another recycled thought from this cloud above this head. And why is it that you only report on the California fires and not the flickering soul of a man? What a seamless facade. The people can't tell the difference between the smoldering, the soot, the ash, and the pieces of Black boys falling from heaven's grip. So I grip my hands together and I pray the strongest prayer my salvation can lift for the Black boy who has not answered my calls. I fear today will be the day he interrupts the weather forecast, hands the anchor a cue card which reads, tell them it rained last night. While everyone was sleeping or marching or hashtagging the names of all the other Black boys, tell them I named a hurricane after myself. Tell them I'm sorry I couldn't go out a martyr. I thought it better to have the police pull me over to be mourned righteously. Depression wouldn't let me get out of bed and drive myself to my own execution. Tell them I want to reclaim my Black boy joy. But anxiety protects and serves this department of sadness in me. My thoughts chant all emotions matter, especially the ones that shout white lies like nobody loves you, nobody needs you, no one would miss you if you were gone, so why don't you just die? When I think about that Black boy's suicide note, I am reminded that he truly feels his life does not matter. So much so, he won't wait for someone else to take it from him. I pick up my phone, dial his number. I let it ring, I let it ring, I let it ring. You have reached the voicemail of click. I'll try again later. I'm sure he's fine. The news said it wouldn't rain today, and I don't see any clouds in the distance. So that's the end of my first poem, Hyperopia. If you're just tuning in, once again, that poem that I just read is in my book, Before We Were Magic. If you Venmo me, the book is $15. If you Venmo me $15, I'll mail it to you, and 50% of the proceeds will go right back into this fundraiser. The second and last poem I want to share with you guys is titled, The Black Woman Be a Metaphor. The Black woman be an illusionist, walking the street, putting on a show, and everyone applauds. No one notices the queen up her sleeve. Everyone picks a card, any card, pays for the Black woman at the register, wears her out the store with her price tag showing, think themselves enchanted too. The Black woman be a Kardashian's hushed inspiration. She be a magician's ghostwriter, the dark bottom of a top hat. Every rabbit pulled from it is a miracle she conjured up herself, but won't receive a standing ovation for. The Black woman be glory, parked in a driveway. She be a gas tank siphon for culture. She be a resident trespassed upon, her front door closed but not yet locked, so intruders conclude. Why else would a Black woman be a doorway loose at the hinges if not for us to come in and take everything? This makes the Black woman stand guard, makes her a watchful eye positioned at the stove, roaming the house after dark. She be a clock, pacing the moments between mama, I'm gone, mama, I'm home. The Black woman was the first home we knew. She been a patio on a corner lot, a garden basking in the sun. The Black woman been the yard work, hand picking weeds each spring, watering her plants, being the plant and the water too. The Black woman is all the resources she needs. She been earth in human form, 2 hands pressed together, praying no more Black bodies fade from her ecosystem. She invokes climate change, a response to her plea being another text left unread. The Black woman is red. The Black woman is angry. The Black woman is a ravishing fire headed for the hills. She is a summer's day best served cold, an ice cap melting expeditiously, a rising sea level closing in on the land. The Black woman is the ocean taking its final breath, ozone layer growing thin, patience growing thin. The Black woman be a policy mankind don't want to pass. All this to say the Black woman be too many metaphors, except for praise, except for that which is sacred, except for acknowledgement. Everything we deem necessary in this world can be traced back to her name. Thank you.
Damn, thank you, Jasmine. Yes, support Jasmine Waiters. Like she said, if you cash app her $15, she will mail you the book, and 50% of those proceeds will go right back into the fundraiser. Thank you so much for doing that. Like, you know, that's really great. So far, we have $1,807.97 raised. I'm gonna challenge everybody to donate $90. $90 pays for one session through the Okra project. So get as close to $90 as you can, even if that is $5 up to $90,000. If you donate $90,000, my Cash App is in the corner. Just letting you know, if you have $90,000 lying around, just I love you. But also, Jasmine, someone is asking for your Venmo, if you have one. You're muted.
My bad. Just trying to have some decorum. I can put it in the chat. My Venmo is just my first name dash last name, Jasmine dash Waiters, but I'll put it in the chat.
Lit. All right, and we will copy and paste that Venmo into the comment section on our stream, so that y'all have that available. Thank you so much, Jasmine. And once again, we are fundraising for the Okra Project, connecting Black trans chefs with Black trans people, cooking home-cooked, culturally relevant, healthy meals, which is super important. You know, sometimes all you need is a home-cooked meal to feel loved. And that's so important. And on deck, you know, there's got Chardonnay Thomas, but give maximum love to the next person coming up to this showcase. Give it up for CC Gervais.
Hello, everyone. It's such an honor to be in this space with family. I am going to share one piece with y'all, but I wanted to just start with saying I've been in a lot of conversations with folks, obviously, about all the things that are happening. And there's a lot of communities that struggle to hold space for trans folks. And we're quick to say George Floyd, rightfully so. We're quick to, I mean, we've struggled a little bit even saying Breonna Taylor, but folks are not saying the Black trans folks who passed away, namely Nina Pop. And there's so many more, but I really want to center that because I'm in like spiritual spaces, I'm in, work spaces, I'm in whatever it is, poetry spaces, and people just gotta just get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are talking about all community. These are your people, period. And that's it. So I have a lot of feelings about it. Y'all could talk to me later if y'all really want to. And the piece that I'm gonna share with you all is a very old poem, but obviously still very relevant, called I Be Black. I be black, royal, crowned in the riches of gold, born into the warmth of sun rays and laughter. We sing, we dance, we commune in peace. 1473, right? Egypt be black, And I be queen. Hell, I be king. Pharaoh. Call me Hatshepsut, giver of all things beautiful. I create art in my womb and birth masterpiece with ease. I be African. 1642, I be black still. Language dried out of my tongue, mouth held wide open, jaws breaking. Can you hear my soul split open? They call me nigger. Negro nigga, I be Afro-American, though the Americans rape the Americans out of my black bones, I be on a slave ship. Baby overboard, I be stripped, naked, raped, beaten, sitting in shit vomit, I be dead, living, quiet, I be slave, feel nigger, Negro nigga, I be slave rebellion, shots, whips, crying, I be dead, living underground railroad, queer black slave, I be confessions of Nat Turner, quiet, hidden, burdened, burned, alive, 1896, I am Jim Crow. I am the law. Segregation feeds me belly beast, hungry for your freedom. I leave you starving. Did you know that Africa was starving? 1968. I be your foundation. I be black, proud. Be Angela Davis, fist in the air. Be Black Panther, raise guns like children. I protect mine. I can show you beast. I feast on white supremacy. I be raiser of your children. And yet still victim of KKK, strange fruit hanging from poplar tree. I be strange fruit dropping from poplar tree. I be scared, broken, tired. March on Washington. I have a dream speech. Ain't I a woman's speech? By any means necessary speech. Assassinated, quiet, given rights used wrong. Human. Yeah, I be human. I be stopped, shot, dead, living, quiet. Slave catchers turned into police sheriffs, nooses turned into batons, trees to streets. We are still dying. 2008, black. President, First Lady, 2009, be ghost of Oscar Grant the same year I lost my cousin, 2012, belly burdened with the death of Trayvon Martin, 2015. Have you ever heard of India Clark? Black trans women have been dying for centuries now, 2016. Richmond, California residue stains my skin. My city so own. We so busy burying babies, better to bang gangs than to hang by chain my city. Poor Richmond City, we die long before we are born, 2020. Ain't much has changed, nothing but the name. Black beauty, black queen, black slave, black nigga, black survivor. I be black. Ashe. Thank you.
Thank you, Cece. I'm always honored to hear your work. If we want to support you financially, what is, oh, I have it right here. Why am I even like fretting? Is your Cash App still Melanin and Mimosas? First of all, love it. Love it. That's all we need in our lives is melanin and mimosas. So hashtag melanin and mimosas. If you don't know how to spell it, you probably don't have melanin or mimosas. So we will help you by putting it in our chat. Don't worry, we got you. I'm sorry, that was out of pocket of me. But that's what you came here for, sorry. If you wanted somebody to be in the pocket, you would have gone to a different show. Yeah, like definitely keep those donations coming in for the Okra project. We are only $200 from our goal. $200 from our goal. So, you know, I think that we can get there before the next poet finishes their poem. But, you know, I that's not on me, that's on you. So like, if you think we can reach our goal before Chardonnay is done, you should donate. That being said, on deck, we got Damani Thomas, no relation, but give it up for the next poet coming up on the stage, Chardonnay Thomas.
Can you hear me? Yeah, we're good.
Yes, yes.
All right, I'm just gonna jump straight into my poem. So why did nobody ask the female daddy long leg if being called daddy translates to an erasure of her womanhood? The same reason you don't realize the caucasity of asking what my pronouns are. You're a queer, non-binary person lacking color as much as you lack respect for boundaries. Unless we're talking about the borders built by your ancestors with the same hands they used to strip the tongues out of the mouths of mine for generations. Their blood in my mouth spills over, a drop for every refusal to abide by this demon tongue. It does not contain a word divine enough to define me. Ancestral memory is so blurry, I can't tell you what language those before me preferred to speak. But now that it's damn near out of reach, you cautiously ask me what my preferences are. Bet I am the river Oshun, the manly woman, the water you must drink that will also drown you if you even think about disrespecting me. Now look at you, apologizing. Keep your sorries unless it's in the form of money, because knowing better has never been cause for y'all to do better. So why did nobody ask the female daddy long leg if being called daddy translates to an erasure of her womanhood? No one's bothered to learn her language. The word for father is also the word for mother. There is no translation. Twin flames dancing in fluidity, the Holy One. It's not uncertainty that strips the desire to rip the pronouns from my tongue. It's the certainty that they, like you, have got me fucked up. In Yoruba culture, there are rituals to change the gender of unborn child, transforming destiny away from misery, or abiku. Translation, born to die. Translation, dies before parents. Demon tongue failing me again. So I asked the female daddy long leg if being called daddy has any effect on her so-called womanhood, and she laughed. Said men always think what they call us changes us. Said we've always been more than woman or man, transcending beyond the umbrella of trans. That's just more demon tongue. My blood spilling from my mouth when I say my pronouns are she or they. Thank you. And I also want to do something a little different. I have these cool things called soul cards. And I'm just gonna like pull one and talk about Victor really fast. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Oh, that was fast. Nice. I've actually never talked about this card before. I got them from Reggie. It looks like there's a woman in like a forest area holding a bowl of like water or something. And there's green and yellow behind her. Green is the color of like love and creation. Yellow is your sacral chakra, which would be willpower, determination. Also like creativity. And then the bowl of water. Water is like your emotions and things like that. It honestly makes me think about the fact that where we are in the world right now, there's so much like pain on all levels. Like we got COVID, we have people acknowledging the pain Black people have been under. It's not anything new. We have like real change happening and shit. And in this time, you need to like go within and care for your emotions and yourself, and really make sure that what you're doing matches what you want. I'm reading this book, Parable of the Sower. You should read it if you haven't. It's by Octavia Butler. But there's this quote where she says, God can be shaped. And that's like your thought. When you're thinking this is going to happen, this is going to happen, that's what happens. Think about what you want and not what you don't. Yeah, that's all I have to say, other than my Cash App is Chardonnay Thomas right at the bottom. I also have a website, Healing Cool Waters, where I do shadow child readings with these cards, way more in depth and things like that. And for the whole month of June, any purchases that I get, I am donating 25%. For shadow child readings in particular, there's a sliding scale. So white people pay $80, but Black people, I can work with you. And that's all I have to say.
Yes, thank you, Chardonnay. Those were that was beautiful poem. And also, support Chardonnay. The Cash App is or will be in the comment section. But like really support the Black femmes doing the spiritual work in our community. I don't know if you've known this, but anybody who's Black and just anyone who's Black knows that our spiritual centers are centers of the movement. Our spirituality has always been what drives the movement, whether it is a Christian spirituality, whether it is our traditional spiritualities. We have always used our belief in something higher than ourselves to come together and organize. So support the Black spiritual leaders in our community. We will definitely be putting that website, healingcoolwaters.com, in the live stream comment section. It is already posted, Liniment Toast Crunch. So right now we have 1,847 and 97 cents raised. Like I said, we're trying to get to 2,000. I know we can do it. It's not enough to just like say we are going to support Black trans people or believe that Black trans people need to be supported. We need to do the work. It is time. Black trans people are extremely uncomfortable living in the conditions in which we do. It is the least that you can do is be slightly financially uncomfortable to stand in solidarity and make sure that the work that keeps us safe, keeps us fed, and keeps us loved is being done. So stand in solidarity, get uncomfortable, and donate more than you want to. If you think that you can do $50, I challenge you to do 60. If you think you can do $90, I challenge you to do 100. It's not going to stop if we don't sacrifice. You know, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You know, we can't make something from nothing. You know, sacrifice requires sacrifice. So don't let comfortability, your comfort, be in the way of the revolution, in the way of the community work that needs to get done. So definitely donate, 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 donate. Yes, I just realized that folks on Instagram don't see the comments. Thank you for telling me that, Arvin. To donate, you can donate to our PayPal, paypal.me/Berkeley Slam, or you can donate to our Venmo at Rich Oak Slam. Please, 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 please send those donations in. Everything we raise tonight will go right to the Okra Project. So please support Black trans people. Support is an action. Actions cost money. You have money. It just makes sense, you know? So on deck, we have Alexandria Collins, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up onto the showcase. Give it up for Damani Thomas.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah? Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, sweet. So thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here to try and raise some money for Okra Fund. I know the work they're doing is really important. So this first poem is very new and short, and I don't know if it's good, but I've been thinking a lot about the ways in which we are, I guess, kind of saying like things we've been saying for years, and what new ways we can say that to kind of like jar people into really understanding it. So I've been playing around with words in this. So this is titled a poem in which every usage of "I experienced racism" is replaced with "I fucked racism." I fucked racism at the park. I fucked racism at the gay bar. I fucked racism at the poetry slam. I was in a monogamous relationship and still fucked racism. I fucked racism on the way to the protest. I fucked racism when I thought I was safe. My mother fucked racism. My grandmother too. I fucked racism and got a scholarship out of it. I fucked racism and have the self-esteem to show it. I fucked racism and finish in therapy. I fucked racism and sometimes I apologize for no reason. I fucked racism every year since the first grade, and when I told someone, they asked me to prove it. Okay, so that's that. So this second poem, so this next poem explores like the Lavender Scare, which was a legislated violence that placed queer folk into an even more dangerous position, mirroring a lot of what was happening during the Red Scare. And I'm choosing to read this during this fundraiser in particular because it's Pride Month, but I'm also noticing that like while myself and other Black queers are like struggling to survive or like even enjoy this month, like the rest of the queer community isn't really showing up in the ways that they should. And so if we can share a Pride parade, we can definitely spare some money for Black trans folk. So I'm calling on everyone watching to donate, but I'm looking at the queer community to run them pockets. Cool. So this is titled Lavender. In 1953, Eisenhower signed Order 10450, banning homosexuals from working in the federal government, resulting in hundreds being fired. In 1973, a judge ruled a person's sexual orientation could not be the sole reason for termination. Don't Ask, Don't Tell is initiated in 1993, banning openly gay persons from disclosing their status in service of the military. Ending in 2011, I wonder what over 50 years of secrecy looks like. I am old enough to answer half of this question. I am old as this lesson, when the older boys bruise arm and bloody nose for that gay shit. We were people and then lavender. I get it. There is something about this new country and color. If I am here then, one piece of legislation means I do not exist tomorrow. Tell my Black side my queer side went missing. Law is just coerced obedience. A name is what comes after. A name is what we call the criminal when we are specific. Lavender. Say it again. Lavender. What do we call an exile more consistent than love, than tragedy? It must be a genetic thing. This is a Black pain the queer inherited. Order 10450 became known as the Lavender Scare, a moral panic about homosexual people in the United States government and their mass dismissal from government service. It contributed to and paralleled the anti-communist campaign known as McCarthyism and the Second Red Scare. I get it. Red is the communism, lavender is the evil homosexuals, Black is the prison. They color the bad things so often they bled the rainbow. You are lavender. Say it again, lavender. What an honor it is to be a thing so close to healing instead of a thing close to dying. I want to thank every politician that coerced my half ancestry into this dirty work, an archive full of my dead names, and I have to appropriate their sound. Lavender. Legislate me lonely and I'll laugh at my own jokes. Legislate me paper thin and watch your secrets expire when I tear. Call me a godless thing and I'll respond. God is just a trick we gag on. I heard there's a man that wants me, dead in every state, in some airport bathroom, parked car off the interstate, late night in some park. He picks me, I lavender, and he takes me in. He calls me a disease scent, an airborne pathogen. So I enter his lungs, esophagus, right ventricle oxidizes, and now he is abstract, hemorrhage. His nostrils, Mississippi petals at his garden cavity. Communism pulls at his feet. I'm just saying time has a wound in it. All the blood came from his nose. Thank you.
Thank you, Damani. Wow, beautiful imagery. I love that poem, that last poem that you did. I've heard it a couple times and it's chef's kiss. Yes, we are almost at $1,900. Keep those donations coming in, keep them coming in, keep them fast, keep them pretty. We really want to reach that 2K donation goal. Yeah, it's really important that we, again, like Damani said, it's really important, especially for white queer folks and non-Black queer folks in general, to support Black trans people. You wouldn't have rights, You wouldn't have a name. You wouldn't have a movement. You wouldn't have culture. You wouldn't have all those kikis and ha-has you like to do. So like, if you really like, if you fuck with queer culture, you fuck with Black culture, and you have to fuck with Black trans people, because that's who brought it to you. So it's really important that we give back, that we support the Okra Project and other organizations like it. Like, seriously, like, I can't stress this enough. Like, support Black trans people, support Black trans people, support Black trans people, support Black trans people. I could turn it into a fucking song. Like, don't play with me. Like, supporting Black trans people sounds like music to my ears. So on deck, we have Asia Bryant Wilkerson, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Alexandria Collins.
Hey y'all. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Hey, I'm Allie. I'm gonna read from my book, No More Peaceful Bones in My Body. It is $15 to $20. You can Venmo me at Blake-Alexandria, or you can hit my Cash app, which I listed in the video, Pretty Fictional. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna read a poem from my book about the Rosewood Massacre, which, if you're not from the South, maybe you don't really know about that, but in the early 1900s, there was an entire settlement of Black people in Florida that was destroyed, essentially, and entire sections of family lineages were wiped out in that massacre, and my family was part of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and read that poem. When the Target security guard follows me with his eyes as I thumb through camisoles, I think about the concept of reclaiming the cotton. I consider what my raised fist would look like as it knocks the sun out of the sky, taking this particular overseer down a few notches, but I deny myself the reckoning demanded by the heat wave of Florida summers in my veins. I stay rocked in the crook of the arm to the lullaby of remembering what it is to be Black excellence, and yet still sleep uneasy knowing that the rate of lynchings in America is historically correlated to low cotton prices, inflation, and economic stress. This camisole is $3. 4,084 African Americans were lynched between 1877 and 1950 in the southern states. This was only 69 years ago, and my body hasn't forgotten what it came from. It is 1922, and the Gainesville Daily Sun's editor admits his group membership with the Ku Klux Klan in print. December 31st, 1922, there is a Klan rally in my hometown. 1923 floods my mind on the regular, too close to home for comfort. Kinship has a funny way of leaving a mark, and Rosewood isn't far from the place I grew up. My blood is in the Florida dirt, burned into the soil, covering the fallen oak leaves. The tears of my people fill each and every spring and swampland in this place. Why does every origin story begin with a violent act against a woman? She was from Sumner, and she was white. She said he wasn't, and they comb the countryside wild dogs for wild dogs. We stay quiet and stay small, even with a breath of 96 years between us. Still, I hear them, feel their paces quicken as the smoke fills the air. Somewhere in the marsh, there are 28 bodies strewn, smelling of turpentine and sugarcane, violence and pain quantified in how many were shot and maimed. They haven't been found, and they deserve justice. Freedom tastes of copper, tastes of iron chain and ocean salt. Why does every origin story end with a violent act against a woman? Tatiana Jefferson was 28, Sandra Bland was 28, and I'm 26. That's my first poem for you guys. And then I'm gonna read another one from actually no, I'm gonna do a newer poem, not from my book, but hopefully this will be in a book in the near future. Hit the Venmo. Let's keep raising money. We're at 19.80 and 6 cents so far. So let's keep it going. Which economy, or a question for Kanye West. What exactly did you mean when you said one good girl is worth 1,000 bitches? I'm curious about the way you have named good girl and bitch dissimilar. Two different currencies, and yet they are the very same coin. If you toss me in the air, where I land depends on the day, what phase the moon happens to be in, the hour, if it is happy or if it is one for witching. If my crystals are charged, I land heads. I land bitch. Heavy steps like the toes of these boots are enchanted with steel, and I'm not afraid to use them. When the hour is golden, when I am too tired and too softened to land harder, I land tails. I land good girl. War paint to disarm your notion that I am not aware of who you are. And what is that, if not an enchantment? Heads, I am trying to survive. Tails, I am trying to survive. Black women have always armed themselves with things that men don't understand. We have to confuse the church in order to make it to the altar, hide our bloodletting for a swig of juice, a wafer. Good girls go to church, but bitches have their own communion. Call that bitch clique, call that coven. You see, the bitch economy is a magical thing meant to house the magical thing that is being all of this woman, all of this Black. My love affair with being alone with my thoughts seeks no infatuation. What is a bitch's exchange rate? What is the current dollar value of good girl money? Is it more efficient to pull cards in peace, play Nina loudly out of your open windows on shuffle? At what cost can you claim significance? If both good girl and bitch are in hefty supply, where does the well fly? This spell is for you, Kanye. This shit is homebrewed. Pink salt and oregano over your shoulder in the dustpan, locks of hair in the cauldron. My witch vibes stay dark magic, dark like night and me and lipstick, baking in the oven beside ceramic pots for coconut oil dreams. This week, I have plucked poems from my hands like shards of colored glass. And I am tired. My creativity is the language of white noise and late nights, a spell for my empty apartment. I have evicted all that is not meant for my fingers to enjoy, have welcomed the sound of the door shut with the force of a simple bye. I take issue with Kanye's religion, Black by convenience, performance meant to claim spirit and holy, to claim Jesus, the original feminist. I imagine that he too would whip out a lash for Kanye, defiling a Riverstone promises. They weigh like the decision to try harder wood, but I still can't collect them fast enough. It's always raining. Whether water or worry, my cups always overflow toward the pavement. I've always liked it best when February and the frost came away in a heavy breath. I am the same. Melting into unrelenting sun, I break away in a twin cadence of effort. There is a kindred spirit in the wet pool of browning grass beaded with dew. My magic and my woman are all profit. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Alexandria. And once again, your Venmo is Blake Alexandria.
Blake-Alexandria. Okay.
Blake-Alexandria, and your cash is pretty fictional. I have the memory of a goldfish, but we are doing this. Okay, hold on. On deck, I'm gonna read a poem or two for you or whatever. But I want y'all, before we continue, I want to make an announcement. We reached our fundraising goal. We are sitting at $2,166.86, but the night is not over. You know what that means? Our next fundraising goal is $2,500. So help us raise another $400 for the Okra project. It's really important that we support Black trans people. You wouldn't have rights if it wasn't for Black trans people, if it wasn't for the people, the most marginalized people within our community are the people that are speaking the loudest, the people that are doing the most work, because that is the work that they need to do in order to survive. So the least that you can do is pay for a damn meal and spend $90 on something that is important to the community, as opposed to, I don't know, giving it to Jeff Bezos, who doesn't give a fuck about anybody. So, and shout out to Jessica, one of our patrons, for donating. Yes. Hella cool. Thank you so much for your generosity. Like, you're a real one. But yes, on deck, I'll read a couple poems, but I need y'all to give maximum love for the next poet coming up in the showcase. Give it up for Asia Bryant Wilkerson.
Hello. Okay. Now I'm gonna read poems. So the first two poems I'm going to read are sonnets from my thesis. I wrote a crown of sonnets titled The Book of Rahab for my thesis. And the premise behind it is that God is a Black woman and these 9 women are her disciples. So I decided to write a sonnet in each of their voices. There's 9 of them because fuck 12. Yeah. So the first one is written in the voice of Joy from Friday. Yes, I do think she would be one of God's disciples. The fuck? So here we go. Joy. You niggas ain't as slick as my edges. Me and my bitches like the CIA. When I say you ain't gotta lie, I mean I already know the answer, the truth. Ask your nigga Smokey what he did with all Big Worm's money. He spent it on me. Your mama call me fast one more time. Watch how fast God takes your nigga's bag again. Shame me with your faith during the day, but beg for me when the sun goes down. You ain't worth my broken acrylic nail. Baddest bitch from Normandy to Western. I never get what I deserve. I get what I demand. I want nothing from you. And the next sonnet in this crown of sonnets is in the voice of Jezebel. I will give you nothing that you demand. I've crushed kingdoms of men who want me to bend to their will. I spit in the face of any man who wants to twist my prayers into a weapon their God can use against me. I married a man, but my faith did not. I drape my beliefs around my neck like chains of gold. Your riches could not afford my dignity dressed in the finest rags still. You want me to fold. Unbecoming is what you claim I am. Harlot or whore, speak to me as if you know who I am. When they have nothing left to take from you, ungodly men will try to take your name. Okay, so those first two, like I said, were a part of a bigger project called The Book of Rahab. If you don't follow me on social medias already, please follow me at I Live in Asia. I will be dropping a map soon to a show in Prospect Park in Brooklyn where you can walk around and see the actual installations that I've made for the project. Each sonnet has an installation. All right, I'm gonna get to these other poems because This next poem is called Black Widow. It's a contrapuntal poem. It is written in the voice of Moselle Baptiste from Eve's Bayou. If you don't know who that is, you tripping. Watch the movie. So I'm gonna, since it's a contrapuntal, I'm gonna read each column and then I'll read across. If you don't know what a contrapuntal is, that means it's a poem that can be read multiple ways. So I'll read each column and then I'll read it across. So column 1, I loved Maynard like I knew how. I dreamed of my new man's funeral before. All my life, I've known this curse. Still, I made a home out of hope. My lover looked so good in a suit. I didn't want to love the last man, but all 3 of my dead husbands must have been ready to leave me. Column 2. He was going to die the day I met him. The wedding that would never come rips the taste of love off my lips. This gift of sight would lie to me. I almost forgot he was in a casket. He insisted on dying by my side. holding my hand down the next aisle, alone with my visions. And now across. I loved Maynard like I knew how he was going to die the day I met him. I dreamed of my new man's funeral before the wedding that would never come. All my life I've known this curse rips the taste of love off my lips. Still, I've made a home out of hope. This gift of sight would lie to me. My lover looked so good in a suit, I almost forgot he was in a casket. I didn't want to love the last man, but he insisted on dying by my side. All three of my dead husbands, holding my hand down the next aisle, must have been ready to leave me alone with all my visions. Okay, I've got one last poem for y'all and I will get out of your hair. This is called Quarantine Notes on Tenderness, and it opens with an epigraph from Frank Ocean. The way you say my name makes me feel like I'm that nigga, but I'm still unemployed. This is what happens when you stuck in a house for 12 weeks and the only way you can talk to somebody is through FaceTime. This is a gay ass love poem. Baptized in different skylines, our lungs still full of each other's air. You breathe in home, breathe in all the care I have to give. Hand me what does not sustain you. Tomorrow, I will bring a new moon for us to gaze at. I'll tell the light all the ways I intend to love you. You say my name, and I know what it means to bloom. I am peeled open by the sound of your voice. You say, I love you, and I want to crack open the sun just to shine when you need light. You speak, and I hear my whole world cradled in your mouth. Your voice echoes through the stars, and the seasons changed, and the tides changed, and I am changed. All right. Peace out, niggas. I love y'all. Thanks for having me read. Everybody else has been fucking phenomenal. Yeah.
Thank you, Asia. It's been way too long. I'm so glad that I got to hear you read tonight. And you can support Asia, hashtag Asia Bryant Wilkerson, or Venmo at Asia-Bryant-Wilkerson. And keep those donations coming in for the Okra project. We are still chugging along, chugging like the little engine that could. So definitely get it together. Before we get to our feature, I'm gonna spit a couple poems. The first one is pretty relevant to this fundraiser. So, when my brother tells me that Marva said that her pronouns are nigga, I felt that shit. Because my pronouns are nigga. My gender is a grape swisher and a 40 by noon. Is the whole hood up at 2 a.m. having a block party in front of the liquor store. My gender says, fuck the rules. Fuck the oppressor. Fuck anyone not from my block littered with binder and makeup. I will still fuck a bitch up without smearing my lipstick because my gender grew up fighting to survive. My gender knows curled fist and painted nail. Long pretty hair pulled back into a messy bun because I caught that nigga that was misgendering me on Facebook and I told him hands on sight. My gender knows to keep its hands in sight. While shopping or walking or being stopped by the police, knows that my hashtag will always wear the wrong pronouns. And my mother will always mourn a son. My gender will keep itself quiet so she doesn't lose a daughter too. My gender is a nigga that can't call itself trans because it's always felt like a white word. That doesn't sit well on a black tongue, doesn't get used in black conversation or seen on black television. So my gender has always been its own role model. Creates a space just for itself. My gender is a black power fist at the Pride Parade. My gender is all cops are bastards. Yes, even the one you are thinking of, even the gay ones. My gender knows exactly how many queer cops murdered black boys last year. Is a rainbow flag drenched in its own blood. My gender is first death, then a resurrection. My gender is the unraveling of a black boy into something beautiful. My gender is both graveyard and garden. Is headstone and headline and head hunt and head bout and prayer. My gender is a prayer. My gender is holy. My gender is sacred. My gender is God, which means my gender must be a nigga. It is, after all, the blackest thing I have ever known. So that's the first poem. The second poem I wrote because while we're talking about Black Lives Matter and the death of Black people, I noticed that there's this common thing where we try to prove someone's innocence as the reason why they deserve to live. Like the cops ever had the right to take our lives from us regardless. And I realized that, there's a lot of people who, like, I don't give a fuck if you could be a convicted felon. You deserve to live. You deserve to be able to interact with the law and not be shot based on the color of your skin. And I realized we're forgetting about our hood niggas. We're forgetting about the undesirable Black people. The people who are most likely to be stopped and killed by the police are the people we're not advocating for. So this is ode to hood niggas. You teeth lined with sunlight, you pretty smiles against the black of your everything. You open mouth, highlight gold in summer. You silver chain and steel of winter, cold as ice. You iced out and dripped down. Your body is a canvas. Fine art tattooed into the side of your neck museum. You niggas that shake the earth in your hands like a pair of loaded dice about to be flung against the wall of a dark alley. You are the laughter of us children that played chicken with traffic and made it back alive. You are the gunshot lullabies and siren songs I call home. A good cognac and a wood-tipped mile. You be the trap beat that backs the fight videos, all bruised knuckle, triumph, and vodka celebration. A bottle becomes a ritual in your hands, or in your absence, a prayer to your name. When God's created niggas, he made you first. But when God created love, he had none left to spare, so you became your own joy. You urban gods, you ghetto magic, you love letter to survival, you forgotten boys of lead and concrete, the petaled smiles that grow from the cracks in the pavement. You are loved. You are so, so loved. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to support me, you can cash at me, hashtag EDMREG4. It will be in there, or you can Venmo me at Reggie Poetry. Yeah, it'll be kind of lit to see some money up in there. Next is our feature. I'm so excited. I'm so fucking excited. Our feature is Meccamorphosis. I've been trying to book Mecca for like ever. I've been like, when are we booking Mecca? When are we booking Mecca? When are we booking Mecca? But I'm going to read her bio. Meccamorphosis is an author, actress, teaching artist, and poet. Mecca first garnished national attention after winning Brave New Voices, the largest international youth poetry slam in the world. Since then, let me rerun that because that's an accomplishment. Mecca first garnished national attention, national, like outside of your home state and shit, for winning Brave New Voices, the largest international youth poetry slam in the world. So yeah, I'm sure you're snapping at home. Since then, Mecca has won many awards and received many honors, including becoming a poet ambassador for Baltimore City and being ranked 4th slam poet in the world in 2019. Mecca spends her time traveling the country performing, teaching, and building upon the intersection of activism and art. Mecca is an incredible voice for Black women everywhere. That's her bio. I also just want to say, Mecca has the littest TikToks I've ever seen from a poet, like ever. I need everybody to like scream, wake up your roommates, wake up the neighborhood, and give maximum love for your feature tonight, Meccamorphosis.
Thank you. Oh my God, I just want to get into it. Speaking of TikTok poems, here's one of them, the full version. White women wear me out like costume. Like everyday Halloween and every day she Halle Berry. She a Rachel Dolezal, the bane of my existence. She merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it, by dark nights when my dark skin ain't feel right. Some of them are white feminists who only support you when it benefits. They love how my culture fit, but it's counterfeit. I mean, she over the counter lit. Spray tans, edge control, bamboo earrings, cornrows. My skin be a hue that gets little to no coverage unless it's on the news or unless it's on you. Y'all love that Urban Decay. She looking so much like me, Show You Moisture tried to put you on. You looking at me so hard, she about to put me on. White girl wear me out as long as she can wash me off. And after this, she gonna be real quick to call me a racist when she don't even know what race she is. Talking about black friends, but they all decoy to our allyship because as soon as you get comfortable, so does their racism. And I'm like, what happened, Bethany? Did you forget there's a black person attached to this woman? Won't you walk with me after the march? Or would you rather walk in my skin, but never my shoes? Tell me, Holly, does it make you feel good? Wearing me out, that dark skin, that's something I am still learning to love. Thank y'all. So that was my first poem. But you know what's so funny is like all these white women kept sending me like hella love letters and stuff. I'm calling them love letters because they were just so passionate about, oh my God, I'm so sorry about everything. I'm like, ma'am, just there was one girl who even commented, she was like, my name's Bethany and I did something racist to my friend like last month and this really hit me. I was like, I'm sure it did. So I didn't know how to respond to that. But I'm with that. Do I also have 6 minutes? I'm not only 6 minutes.
You have 15 to 20.
Oh, well, let me go in. Okay. So with that being said, I wanna bring in oh my God, I'm so nervous to do this. But I wanted to bring in one of the most inspiring pieces of literature in cinema for me, which is The Color Purple. So let's just get into it. Sister, you've been on my mind, oh sister, we're two of a kind, so sister, I'm keeping my eye on you. My little sister is beautiful. She got our father's eyes, brown, her mother's skin, light, blinding. So blinding, I can't even see her as my little sister, just competition. She looked like the women my dad left mom for. She looked like the girls all the world prefers. She looked like the revised version of me, and I look like a confused scribble, a black mass in comparison, but still, I protect her from myself. Keep the darkness at bay, even when it's in my hands, my eyes, my skin, my hair, when it's all around me and colorism is all around me. She don't even know what that is. I didn't even know what it was, but our bodies did. My skin crawling away from the sight of her light, but I protect her from myself. Love, even when her mom teach her to hate me and the world teach her to hate me, I love her with my eyes open, even when it hurts, even when she's so blinding and so beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna go into some poems for the book or whatever. Hope my voice was okay, because I was nervous. That's the first time I ever did that version of it, but I know everybody like, ma'am, okay. So with that, I'm gonna go into, because I can't hear y'all, so I'm a Gemini, so you know I go off communication. I gotta ask people like, how you feeling? How y'all feeling? So I'm gonna try my best to be in tune with my Mercury and just move on. If a penny saved was a Black girl returned, would it be easier for you to pay attention to our gaps in evidence and aggravations? You can't find Black girls because of doubt, but found Tom Brady's jersey because of all his clout, so Black life don't hold presence unless it involves dead presidents. If only we evolve past ignorance, what common sense is it? Treating our girls like common sense, our mistreatment has been common since America started its great coin collection. These pretty pennies getting lost in couches and mattresses and streets and alleyways in DC and Baltimore and Nigeria 60 years ago, 200 years ago, and 1,000 more years to come, just slipping through the cracks of time. And y'all white women marched through DC streets searching for your independence, but in March, didn't want to put your hands in the draining work of activism, afraid to touch something dirtier than your intentions. Why haven't I gotten Amber Alerts for our Black girls? Like Amaya don't want to come home either. Your movement is two-faced, and why I flip out, because me and those girls got the same face. And if they are runaways, it's because they're being mistreated and beaten at home and won't be left alone because of the copper of their tone, and by their own they are sold because they are a few shades darker than gold. It boils my blood to the mineral. Now ain't it irony how most men curse Black women's names before they say them, then trick their ways to lay with them. There's sex trafficking in our cities, and these girls have been paying the tolls. Why must we choose through the different abuse? Sexual, emotional, or systematic America make it seem like we must choose the latter instead of use the latter to raise to a better solution. I pray this poem pipe your children from the vats that try and kill them. I try to connect to our curl pattern, but there's only a price. Over their head, they hold on to my lungs at night, so I scream for them in the daylight. It seems these penny dreadfuls end before you start them, since every scene is a disappearing act. My girl Sadia said Black girl magic shouldn't work like that. So I put my 2 cents in to get our girls back. They falling deep underwater, and these cops only wish them well. They don't care if a Black girl saved was a penny earned. We can give them the living they deserve. I want these hashtags turn tic-tac-toe, crossing out where X marks the spot every time we find these treasures, burn through the cities until my embers alert, screaming, where are they? Where are my Black girls? Where is the change? Thank you. Thank you so much. With that being said, I'm going to dip into some secret poems from my book. And I keep calling them secret poems. They're not so secret anymore. I've been sharing them all over the place. Y'all don't even need the book at this point. But one of the first poems that I want to share, it's so interesting because in this book, I wanted to write something peaceful and, something peaceful about my dad, something, that was going to kind of be the answer to one of my most pettiest poems, which is about my father. But it didn't really happen that way because he got on my nerves while I was writing the book. So now it came to be this piece here, which is still also very important to me. So let's get it out. And here it is. My father scans the grocery store, goes throughout the aisles. He tries to remember my favorite snacks, knowing even if he chooses the right one, it will be the wrong one. He's not here for snacks. He is looking for an apology. Nothing else can make us full. I'm too old for junk food, and he is too old to understand this is how love begins to star, how daughters embrace family. Is it hard to say I'm sorry because you admit something? Surrender, sorrow, not remembering someone's favorite snacks, his fingers, passes my phone number as he asks my mother for advice. I am home trying to understand how we apologize in this house, how we wait out hurt between dinners and hope if we give pain enough rides to the mall, the outing will be enough of an outlet to reset. I always remember the gifts and never the humility, always feeling undeserving of this since he gave me half of my life, but has been chipping away at it with every conversation neglected. Every announcement of, if you don't pay rent, then he don't pay attention to when I cry that he has exhausted my heartbeat. My father comes home never saying hello, but throwing me my favorite snacks And I accept, since it's the only way we know how to forgive in our house. We give distant apologies. We hope will add up to the real thing, since it'd be a technique that was never passed down. It'd be a redemption in practice, traffic on the way to holy, and several trips to the grocery store. Thank you. Ooh, I really want to read some of my like short poems. So I have small poems in my book that dedicated to different things that my friends have taught me. And this one is Things to Unlearn, number 123, 450. I know that, that's not how you start a poem. Oop, flip it and reverse it. I know Black women who walk in their house backwards to stare back demons that follow them home. And the devils stay mad because we rarely blink. Thank you. I'm saying thank you like I can hear y'all. Thank you. I'm hearing the claps in my ear. I'm gonna read this one last short poem before I go into my next poem. Things to Unlearn, number 10. They used to tell the girls to yell fire when in danger, because people who run to burning that's not how you start a poem either, y'all. Sorry, Jesus. Restart. They used to tell the girls to yell fire when in danger because people run to burning buildings over burning women. So you have to turn yourself into a smoke signal just to be saved, only to still be taken by the wind. That's a poem. Gosh, not hearing people is interesting. Okay, somebody just thank you. I just needed a little bit of something, a little bit of woohoo, just to keep me going.
You're doing good, sweetie.
Thank you. All right. It feels like every Black house runs a thrift shop. You can tell by the way we trade trauma like old clothing, and in my house, we are bursting at the seams because of the bags of clothes we carry. I still have the pajamas I was molested in. And no matter how many times they end up in the laundry, they'll never be clean enough to give up. Like I did, I told him, I didn't want to go in no closet. Not only did I see his skeletons, I became one. Every caress on my breast felt like hanger being pushed in my chest. I told my mom that this shirt was too big for me to handle, that these hand-me-downs got too much space for curious kissing cousins to hand you up bad memories, and all she can do was take my shirt to be washed, to be baptized, to be pressed and prayed, gave me another to cover up in, but though these clothes come in PTS and D, one size fits all. See, my mom knows abuse like the back of her dress. I just wish she would have told me what it looked like before my cousins put the same one on me. We still know how to laugh. They make fun of my height, how I would never grow out of old clothes owned by my mother and her mother and her mother's mother. My father forgets every time I tell him, leaving me in a pile of healing that I have to make my own responsibility. But how do you fold a memory? And if every Black house runs a thrift shop, why aren't we giving anything away to be burned like the plague? Let this love be a flamethrower. That is not this poem. One second. Let love and therapy be a flamethrower. Watch these pajamas twist and curl over the embers like the sleepless nights I've had, because they will never find their way on my kid. I will never prepare them to be a sheep in my clothing. God, make me a Salvation Army. The second hands lay on them, because they'll never live in a thrift shop. Thanks. Ooh, y'all, I got this one poem that I really want to share with y'all. I love it. I feel like it hasn't grown up all the way yet, but I do really love it. Am I over time?
No, you still got time.
Okay, I was like, because I know I could talk a lot. That's why I'm scared. I'm like, I know me. All right. This poem I actually got from a TikTok trend. So it was a bunch of people pretending like if somebody had their voodoo doll. And I was like, oh, that's real interesting. And I was like, oh, I wonder, what if somebody had my voodoo doll or something like that? So I went off of that kind of a prompt. And that's also a testament how you can find poetry everywhere. So this is this poem. I am shipping off my voodoo doll in an empty glass bottle that used to help me feel alive. Though I made my dolls with tears and hairs from a detangling brush, I don't trust myself with myself. I damn this doll for having stitches that I don't. Appearing like some healing survivor, my voodoo doll got nerve to be a version smaller than how I feel most days. I yelled at the doll to be more, to feel more. I want to throw my doll to my parents so they can have a doll that they can control, or to people who tell me they love me, so I finally say it back without second guesses and thinking everyone leaves eventually. I keep stuffing her with gold jewelry and love notes I've gotten, yet I can never fill all the spaces inside no matter what I do, no matter who I am. Doll or human depression must have made me from tears and old hairs from a detangling brush. It yells at my body saying I can't protect myself from myself. I stay up until the sun comes up on its next workday, as if my bed is made of needles sticking in my back, each one a bad memory, a forgotten to-do list, a failure. I am a woman owning her own voodoo doll because I am so tired of moving this body on its own. Every time I ask my doll not to fail, I notice a flaw in my craftsmanship. The stray threads, the stains, the gaping tear right under the one-stitch smile. Boldly, I decided to give her teeth one day, hoping she'd bite back, then I can too. I don't know how to do these things for myself, just to myself. Just act it out while playing dolls. Dolly myself up so the world finally see the girl between the black magic. To the person who finds my voodoo doll, read the poem if you like, but put me back in the ocean. I am studying how waves work, how these feelings come and go, but push forward even when the appearance of going back into the abyss. I am pushing forward. With this small sacrifice, I surrender myself from myself to be the water, the salt, the moon, the yemaya, the voodoo, the glass in its prints, the stitches, the wet, the rough, the unknown, the tempest, the storm, whatever I touch, I am born. Whatever I am more than whatever thought it made me and whatever I have born. That is my poem. That one's called, I try to be so Eve's Bayou with that poem. I called it the daughter of the priestess. Volume 1. I can't talk, y'all. I got big lips, so sometimes they start flapping, and then I can't get my words out. But I'm good. So I'm gonna dig back into the book because I have this one poem that I adore. Y'all be feeling that way too when you got poems and you're like, oh my God, I just love this poem. This poem is just everything to me. So when writing this book, I really just was like, what are all the pieces that I really think that I could let go in here? Like, what are the things that I had to really look at myself piece by piece? And that really wasn't hard to do when being stuck in quarantine. And definitely having to look at yourself. It was kind of like that scene, I don't know if y'all know Pirates of the Caribbean, when he was stuck in Davy Jones' locker and he was stuck with different version of himself. And the question that was asked was, can you live with yourself forever? And while he was talking to these different personas of Captain Jack Sparrow, is like one very annoying one very dirty one, and all this other one, all these pieces of himself, and he had to stick with it. And that's what basically the vibe of this whole book is trying to really let all of these things go. But I have this one poem that I'm trying to find. And here it is. Okay. So I was thinking about something that people tell me all the time, that I cry all the time, and I'm surprised I haven't cried in this chat. So this is Things to Unlearn, number 404. A common critique I get: you cry if the wind blows. Of course, who else is going to remind me how to breathe and to move on? I cry for practice. It is the most important part of my day. I cry for breakfast. I cry for my mom. I have all the tears she had to hide from me. I cry so I cannot hide from me, my God. As the wind blows, I will not hide. I will cry for me. For Serena. Yes, I'm getting into my sappy poems. I love that poem because, one thing I know for sure is if I can't cry in front of you, then you're not my friend. You're not my friend. We not together. You ain't if I feel like I can't shed a tear or two, then I don't know you. This is Things to Unlearn, number 32. This one is for Xavier. I don't know if and all the people here know Xavier from Florida. If you do, okay, this is who this person is. Kikiing when we wasn't supposed to be, I asked my friend, oh my God, why can't you whisper? And in a voice as full as his hair, he'd tell me, girl, I'm Dominican. Whispering don't exist for us. My body vibrates in a silent laughter, the ones that get caught in your chest with no chances of escaping. It makes me wonder why whispering is so easy for me, why making my voice small enough is my first thought. Everything about me is inappropriate. While being appropriated, my mouth only knows 3 tongues: English, whispering, and silence, languages of the colonizer. And don't the devil speak in whispers, making every S stronger for the hissing, whispering, not to alert the predators. So I hope every day Xavier's voice can be heard from his lips to God's ears. I hope it is a noise that never stops catching attention. Pray you never get used to silence, or silence the way loud people like us usually are. I always show what my mouth can do because I'm a Black girl and sometimes told I don't exist. That me nor our relationship resembles a damned whisper. It is our bright ass colors, loud, like 2 friends kikiing when they aren't supposed to be. We are living loud as hell while the world whispers we aren't supposed to be. Thank you. Oh, I'm not keeping track of what time it is. I don't want, how much time I got?
You got time for like 1 or 2 more?
Perfect. That is perfect because that's what I was thinking in my brain. So I am going to do 2 poems. Is that okay?
That's good.
Perfect. You know what? I'm gonna give y'all a short one and then I'm gonna give y'all a nice little long one. So this short one is Things to Unlearn, number 8. When they ask you to make sacrifices, take note who shed bloods for this. For Nanelle. And now I'm gonna go to my next one, my last one. So this poem is literally the most special poem in the world to me. I give it to all Black people only, even though it came from a relationship with a white person that I had. Not a dating relationship, but like I had to make that clear. But one of my friends, one of my really, really good friends, when they passed away, was like the most heartbreaking thing in the world. And I remember a conversation that we had, and I was like, hey, Aaron, sometimes it's a little uncomfortable for me to hang out with you or whatever right now, because, you know, I don't really have that many white friends. And he looked at me, he said, neither do I. And that is when our relationship was solidified, because he was helping me through like a really depressing time. And, you know, but also it made me realize that a lot of us, just me and my friends in general, like a lot of us don't think we're going to make it past a certain age. We don't have that belief. And one thing I remember back in health classes, the teacher would be like, oh, when you're young, you believe you're invincible and that nothing can touch you. And I don't think Black kids have that luxury of thinking that we're invincible, that we can't get sick, that we can't be killed. And it's like always having that thought in the back of your mind is terrifying, especially when you get older and realize that you can just be gone for no reason. So I wrote this poem for my friend because I wanted to constantly instill life in my friends and the people that love me back. So this is this poem. To Aaron, I should have hugged you harder. I write poems differently now. My poems were written in holes. The in-between lines stretched open like a banshee screaming in hopes of breaking the half-empty glasses in me. Each word a kindling rock, both the stepping stone and the flame, burning a bridge to who I was, sometimes burning me in the process, but I still see her across the island. She sent me paper plane memories saying, forget me not, or you will find your way here again. And I'm scared I'll get there because these hands haven't finished a poem in some months now, and I've become a page half empty, an unfinished poem, crumbled and tossed, scrapped for its good lines and gone. And it's been harder to stretch myself into something full, desirable, familiar, and entertaining, something I didn't write for just me. But I performed the hell out of it though. My smile bigger than spotlight. But when it goes out, it's dark out here. And everyone is gone except the front row of people who have always been there for me, even if I can't see them. In the distance, I hear scribbles like pen on paper because it's them on paper ready to fight for me when I can't. And I forget because trust is a poem I've yet to memorize. And they've showed me in the heartbeat of their literature that a poem is never finished, it just simply stops moving. They know how to turn me into a paper boat, tell me I've cried too much and not to waste water. Use all of this to get to the next island, so I write differently now. I write poems that look like them, and they look like a notebook full of the best unfinished poems. We all taking turns to put it all out on the line, protecting each other from those whose hands look like dirty erasers, look like they so used to crumbling a perfectly good poem, and that's exactly who we is. Bind it together. We made of glittery black ink that looked like Odyssey, telling a story of what was and what could be. See, we love each other. And that's why it's so easy for us to keep loving other people, especially ourselves. Semicolons dancing on our milestones and not our tombstones. Not even God could end a poem on this day. I tell them, we gonna write it all down until it's a run-on sentence far past a finishing line, until it transcends from haiku to sonnet to something epic, until it's just your palm print in words, until it sounds like a grandparent's story, like and then until we stop moving without our permission. But for now, please hold my hand. Tighten up that space and time can't get through, and let's write something different today. Something someone can hear but cannot smudge. Something that feels like forever. Something that will be. Thank y'all. You can follow me everywhere but my house at Meccamorphosis. I'm trying to stop y'all from crying. I'm trying to stop myself from crying too.
Like, oh my goodness, like you needed to warn me before you had done that poem, because like this makeup is not waterproof. This eyeliner is not like, I'm trying to keep it together.
I appreciate y'all for bringing me into this space and letting me just perform. I always, any moment that I have to I'm able to do these poems now, I feel so much more whole. And that's how you should feel when you do poems that you really, really write in. And I appreciate being here with y'all and doing these poems for y'all, especially at midnight, because that's the best time to do poems. I'm done.
Question. Do you want to do more poems at midnight on Tuesday?
I'm down. What day is that?
That would be the
16th.
Yep.
I'm gonna be a 23-year-old baddie. Oh, by the way, it's my birth week.
23 gang.
It's my birth week, everybody.
Hey, so now you definitely have to drop something in her Cash App, because
Try a much better gift would definitely be donating to the Okra Foundation. Please do.
Yes, please continue those donations. I know our show is over. We raised $2,196. Let me go.
$2,220.
$2,220.
Bless.
Gang.
Our goal was $540 initially.
Yeah, so we did that thing. Shout out. Thank you so much to Greetings from Queer Mountain for helping us with this fundraiser and dedicating your space as well to fundraising for the Okra project. We couldn't have hit these goals without you. And yeah, we should do more things. Thank you so much, Mecca. Thank you so much for coming into the space and sharing your work and sharing your presence. It's been a joy.
Y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing. Like, oh my God. Ugh, I was so inspired. Like, honestly, I was like, wow, like, it's just great to hear other people again, I guess, like, because it's like, especially like, you know, I can always go to different open mics and stuff like that, but sometimes my mom be going, but it's nice to like really sit and listen, and y'all are incredible. Please keep in contact with me. Y'all are amazing.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mecca. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Asia, Damani, Chardonnay, Jasmine, Cece. Thank all of you for being here and sharing your time and your art with us.
By the way, Reggie, what's on Saturday?
What is on Saturday?
You really?
What do you mean, really? Like, a nigga is hot.
Founder Speaks.
Oh shit! Yeah. Don't forget, on every Saturday we have an episode of our live stream video podcast, Founder Speak. I gotta plug in this computer. This week we are going to have local poet and environmental activist Ashia Ajani. We are going to be talking about how the environmental movement has environmental racism, ecofascism, and how the environmental movement has failed Black communities, as well as how we can, hold these people accountable to the most vulnerable populations of climate change, destruction, pollution, all of that nasty shit that gives us like asthma and cancer and all the things we talk about, but nobody listens to. So you can join us this Saturday. We are going to be talking at 2 p.m. PST, 2 p.m. It's going to be me, another organizer, Colin, my brother, Chardonnay, and our guest, Ashia Ajani. So we'd love to see you there. We also, our next show is next Tuesday, the Oakland Poetry Slam. We are going to be fundraising for I believe the Afro-Urban Society. They are a local nonprofit that connects members of the African diaspora with culturally relevant art forms and opportunities. They just finished their Onye Ozi Fellowship, their inaugural fellowship, where they connected continental Africans and Black Americans, all artists, to talk about the relationship between the communities and how we can have further communication, love, community, and unity. So yeah, they're a really great organization. You can check them out. We'll be fundraising for them next week. The next Berkeley Slam, we're every Wednesday right here on Facebook, YouTube, and the Twitters. Yeah, thank you all. So, I almost forgot. Our next week, we're going to be having another Black showcase because Black Lives Matter every week. We're gonna do this till we run out of funding. Period. But our next feature is my triplet, Jamon Hill. I'm so fucking excited for that. Oh my God.
That really is your triplet.
Everywhere we go, he gets mistaken for Colin. Everywhere. Shout out petite niggas in silky shirts. I'm not wearing a silky shirt, but it's lace, so petite niggas in blouses. That's what it is. Call it what it is. We wear blouses, and that's okay.
Lace is a different vibe, though. Right? Lace is a different vibe. They're not ready for lace. They're
not ready. I might have elevated. I might be the boss nigga. The boss
Right, I think you are, because they're still on silk and floral. You're on floral and lace.
Right, floral lace. Come on
Yes.
now. You better recognize making waves in the fashion industry. But yes, it's going to be great. I'm pretty sure there's going to be chests out. It's going to be amazing. You should check us out. We're going to be fundraising for the Afro-Urban Society. Thank you so much to everyone who donated. You can check us out online, facebook.com/BerkeleySlam, Twitter and Instagram @BerkeleySlam, and patreon.com/RichOakEvents. I've been Reggie, your host. This was our Black Showcase. We will see y'all next week.